Hi, I'm Jake Kramer, an application engineer as part of our DMA team here at Ansys. In this video, I'm going to be highlighting for you the enhancements we've made to using external ephemeris files in STK Aviator 12.9, releasing with 2024 R2. In 2023 R1 or STK 12.6, Aviator added the ability to use external ephemeris files or capture trajectories to create Aviator objects, allowing Aviator to determine the appropriate attitude, aerodynamics, propulsion, thermal models for those external ephemeris trajectories. In Aviator 12.9, we bring a new capability in regards to using external ephemeris files, and that is the ability to relocate and reorient or shift rotate a trajectory to any location on Earth. This allows you to take something like a live flight that you executed, bring it in as an external ephemeris file to visualize, and then move its original location and course to reassess that trajectory in perhaps another place on Earth or in a new setting with new terrain, new predefined objects, new altitudes, and so on. So let's walk through a quick example to better explain this capability. In this scenario, we have a JSF F-35 flight that took place at Edwards Air Force Base in California. I first loaded the .e or ephemeris file in STK using the external propagator, so you can see the original flight and data that was captured. We can then take the same flight and bring it in with Aviator using the reference state site and external ephemeris procedure. And that'll help us, make some assumptions about this flight, like estimating the JSF's attitude during said flight. You'll notice at the bottom of the external ephemeris procedure is the new section shift/rotate. Now let's say we wanted to move this trajectory to the other side of the US to say Pax River Naval Air Station to see if we theoretically could execute the same kind of test at the range over on the East Coast. We can use the original Aviator object or just create a copy. And now once we enable the shift rotate option in our procedure to actually set up our relocation. So the first step is to select a shift time. This is a timestamp in your ephemeris that will act as your pivot point in both time and space, the input of which is in epic seconds from the very first ephemeris point. Therefore, if you are shifting or rotating about a pivot point that is anything other than the first ephemeris point, then it is helpful to use epic seconds as your time format in your scenario. That way you can drag to a specific location along your trajectory and then easily translate the scenario time to your shift time. In this case, we will stick with the first time times 0. By clicking set, you will automatically pull and fill the latitude, longitude, and altitude values associated with that timestamp. In this case, the very first LLA point in our flight. This way I can easily rotate by setting a new course in degrees, and this new course can also be relative to current course or relative to true or magnetic north as an option. Similarly, I can simply set a new altitude that is relative to the current altitude or relative to MSL or WGS 84 ellipsoid. In order to relocate, I have the ability to now modify the existing inputs to enter a new lat-long position manually. However, I also have the ability to use an existing waypoint from the Aviator catalog. So let's use a second option to shift our flight over to Pax River. So using the AirInc 424 runways included with the install, I'm going to search for PATU for Patuxent River Naval Air Station in the Aviator catalog, and I'm going to select the 0624 runway. Once selected, the latitude and longitude for that runway will be auto-filled, and the next step is to set a course, which I did some earlier work to figure out we want -8 degrees true. Applying this, we can now see that our original route, has translated over to the Chesapeake Bay area. And here we can now reevaluate that route at a new range, again with new telemetry and ground stations or new terrain. So this feature can be used to easily shift existing STK objects you've created in Aviator, or also with the Great Arc propagator. So if you were to simply right click, a route that you've created and select export ephemeris attitude from the drop-down menu, you can export an ephemeris file that you can then use with this new added capability. And once moved, you can always easily go back to your initial inputs and make adjustments. And that is Aviator's external ephemeris enhancements in STK 12.9. We hope that you can make great use of this new feature and save significant time in trying to translate your trajectories. With that, be sure to let us know how we can continue to improve Aviator for your mission modeling needs. For more on the latest STK and Aviator features, be sure to visit the STK help. And for any questions related to Aviator, please reach out to us, your AGI support, via our email support@agi.com. Thanks.